walking in God's plan. This asset is critical to following God's will for one's life. One important Bible character that demonstrated it and set a premier example for us to follow was Abraham. Set in Ur, Abraham's biography starts by showing his family line and his brothers. But due to Ur's pagan status and the death of his brother, Abraham's immediate family moved to a region called Haran. Now God had promised Abram that he would be a father of many nations in the future. To start the fulfillment of that promise, God sends now called Abraham, his wife Sarah, and Lot through uncharted lands to Shechem and Canaan. Now this event is amazing as it shows how Abraham had to put his full reliance on God to show him the path to the promise. There was a famine in Shechem though. As a result, they moved to Egypt during that period. To avoid his own murder, Abraham lies before the Egyptian authorities by calling Sarah his sister. Although God knew he made mistakes there, God rescued them from that dilemma and sent them back to Israel safely. Back in Shechem, God reassures Abraham of his promise and described his descendants as the stars in the sky and as the sand in the seashore. On one day, 3 men visited Abraham and Sarah and told them that Sarah would have a child about this time next year. Although at first she laughed in ridicule about this, she did have a son just a few months later. She then laughed about how God did a miracle through her and named her son Isaac, meaning laughter. When Isaac was around 5 years old, Abraham was tested on his faithfulness and obedience to God when he asked Abraham to offer up Isaac. This decisive moment would show whether God would be acknowledged in the promised family line which led to Jesus millennia later. When asked, Abraham obeyed, and they both went to Mount Moriah. But just when he was about to kill Isaac with the knife, an angel of the Lord stopped him from doing that and instead sent a ram as the sacrifice. This event showed Abraham's trust in God. To preserve this newly established Jewish line, Abraham sent his servant to find a wife for Isaac, who was now in his 30s. Abraham's servant went to relatives of Nahor, Abraham's brother, just as he was commanded. Rebekah was the one found there who served the Lord and fulfilled all of Abraham's requirements. As a result, Rebekah came back with the servant, and Isaac marries Rebekah, and the family line continued. At the age of 175, Abraham died and was buried in the cave of Machpelah, where Sarah was buried previously, and also would be Isaac, his son Jacob, and Jacob's son Joseph. In conclusion, one can learn from Abraham the importance of serving and obeying God, as this leads to success in life. Also, as Abraham did God's will for his life, one should do it either as a response to God speaking, as he spoke to Abraham, or as a response to his word. As a result, just as Abraham was truly a father of many nations, one can be a godly example to other generations through his obedience.